BAFTA is awarded to Michelle Clapton for The Crown.
Thank you. This is really marvellous to win something which I was incredibly proud to work on. Of course, I thank BAFTA and Netflix and Left Bank and my amazing crew who supported me through sometimes some very difficult times. And actually the crew in general on The Crown were the most supportive bunch of people I've ever worked with. I'd like to thank Stephen Daldry, who's sadly not here, for actually asking me to work on the show. But really, my biggest thanks go to Peter Morgan for writing the most incredible script that I've ever had the luck to work on. Thank you very much. Thank you.
The BAFTA for costume design for The Crown. Michelle, massive congratulations.
Yeah, I'm so excited because it was such an amazing project, and I was so nervous about, not nervous, I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it, and then when I spoke to Stephen Daldry, and he's such the most persuasive, brilliant man, and I mean, in fact, I'll do anything that he asks me to do, but it was a really tough show for many reasons, but yeah, it was also so rewarding, and I think, as I said in my speech, the script was something which was so amazing, and as I read it, I knew that it would appeal to so many people. It appealed to me, and I didn't think I'd ever watch something particularly about the royal family, but it was so sensitive and so exploratory. I just thought it was wonderful, and not derogatory to them. It was just incredibly clever. So, and I like being part of something clever.
Yeah,
so
it felt candid. You know, it felt like you were seeing something else and something new. The costumes have been described as the star of the show.
That's very sweet.
How do you begin that process? How do you start to, especially when it's something that you're part of it, of course, is creative and new, and part of it has to be very accurate as well.
Well, I think that's it. I mean, my assistants, one of them's a historian, the other woman, one of my assistants does menswear, and he's a historian, and my other assistant, Emma, was a very young assistant designer, but she's very inquisitive and incredibly good at research. So I actually started late because I was finishing another job. So my plea to them was, please try it and document everything we possibly can that we really need to get right, so that I can have fun actually trying to tell the story. Because I know when things need to be correct, and I mean there's not really design in it being correct, but actually where the design, I think, becomes important is in the narrative. And I love designing and making costumes, so all the principles, pretty much 90% of them were made in our workshop. And it's very easy to sometimes go out and just find a vintage piece, but it will never fit properly. And I don't feel it translates to the modern eye in the same way. But I also don't like costumes to be too noisy or to, like, I suppose, to distract from the brilliant script. So, I don't know, it was just a really fabulous thing to work on. And when you're surrounded by such an amazing crew, who I actually haven't ever worked with such an amazing crew across the board. And, you know, the production designer, Martin Charles, you know, we would discuss, could the flowers be pink? Because I've got a little bit of pink in the dress. And they were, you know, so open to that. And, you know, that's when I think really interesting things happen. Costume doesn't exist on its own. It's part of, it aids the actor, it aids the storytelling. It should almost be invisible, except when there's a big moment, or, you know, like, you just have to get things right, I think.
And can I ask what's next? I mean, how do you follow The Crown?
Well, I'm going back to finish the final thing of Game of Thrones, because I've been on it almost all the way through. I tried to leave when I left for The Crown, and then they asked me back, and I feel like, God, I've done it for so long, I may as well finish it. But I'm starting, you know, I'd like to do more film projects. I have a couple of things that I'm working on at the moment. I love TV because I love the way that it gives you a chance to tell such a complicated story, which you can't do in film. But at the same time, I suppose I'd quite like to try a sort of shorter format, and, you know, I'm open. I go for the story or something that I find will be interesting. I'm really open.
Well, it might happen tonight. There might be people here that have the story for you.
Maybe, let's hope.
Many congrats.